YouTubers, Muskrat Jim here. One of my viewers recently asked me how I make my hat bands. So I tried to explain it to him in an email, and it was just too difficult. So I decided what I'd do is I'd make a little video. So stay tuned. So he asked me how I make these paracord hat bands. And these aren't really paracord. It's a thicker cord. Now this cord is a solid core, as you can see there, and then it's got the braided outer casing. And it is 1/4 of an inch in diameter, whereas regular 7-strand paracord, there's 7 strands, it's about 1/8 of an inch, or maybe just a little bit more than 1/8. So what I do is I take this cord and I wrap it around the head part, the headband area of the hat 4 or 5 times, just to get the right length. Now on this one I used 5, and on this one I only used 4. So it all depends on how wide you want the hat band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take apart one of these and then put it back together again, just to make the explanation a little simpler. So for this hat I used about 2 yards of cordage, 2 meters of cordage, about 6 or 7 feet, and I fused the ends so that they wouldn't fray, and then I started by putting the end towards the back and holding it in place with a pin. And then I wound the remainder of it around the hat, around and around, making sure that the cord laid flat and wasn't kinked or anything like that, until I ran out of cord. Now this piece is towards the front, but I will move it towards the back afterwards. So what I did then is I held this one in place with a pin. Just to keep them all in place. Just like that. And then I repeated this a few times around the perimeter, just so then everything would be held nicely in place. Passing the push pin through each of the cords all the way down. Now once those push pins are in place, it's time to use a needle and thread and just run a stitch through those 4 loops. So you can do that just adjacent to where you put those pins. Just make sure you get through all 4 of them, or 5 of them if you're using 5. And then you can run back up through it again. Again, making sure you get all 5 or 4. Looks like I missed one there. There we go. Just like that, and that'll hold that in place, and you can remove that pin. All you have to do is tie a knot here. And just snip it off. And then you repeat that process 2 or 3 more times around the perimeter of the brim. Now after I put these together and have them stitched in several areas, I like to put on some contrasting rings just to give the hat a little more character. So you can just lift this off. And then we can attach these cordage rings. Now on the back side here, we can either just run a single stitch through that, or what I did is I actually used little strips of duct tape. And just pinch that together. So now if we were to put that on the hat, just straighten this out a little. See if we can make a nice ring there. And I did the same for these other 2 rings. There and there. So now that my contrasting rings are in place, all I have to do is take a needle and thread and just stitch this right to the hat. I go from the inside so that the knot is on the inside of the hat. Just come through at some point. And back to the back. And then tie it off on the inside. So once you stitch that in a few places around the brim, your hat's ready to wear. And then you're all set, ready to go. So when you're out in the woods and you happen to need 7 feet of cordage for something, setting up shelter, you've got a supply of it right there. So I hope you like this tutorial video. It's really quite simple. So till next time, this is Muskrat Jim signing out. For more Muskrat survival videos, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember to click the bell to receive notifications of newly uploaded videos on this channel.